Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 41 of the Run to Hills podcast. My name is Gareth Waits, and welcome to my co-host, Edwina Sutton. How are you doing, Eddie?
This week's show is all about you and your incredible Bob Graham round feat.
And actually, sorry, Charlie Parkinson too. He's our interview for the show. 18-year-old course record holder. We chatted to him a little while ago, but yes.
We've sort of got the balance of the two, haven't we? The young,
and the
flexible, and the old, but still triumphing.
I'm nearly 30 years older than Charlie.
Could be your grandson.
Oh, my God.
I look forward to listening to that. I haven't listened to that yet, but let's cut. Gary, for our dear listeners, Gary has kept trying to tell me about his Bob Graham round. And I've kept saying, hold it there, because I want it to be fresh. I want to hear it right from the beginning.
The raw truth.
I want the raw truth because it looks incredible. And I've only seen a few pictures and you look fresh, you look happy. So can we start right from the beginning?
The very beginning. What, leg one? Oh,
well, leg one. Can we start like the lead up? Because I was imagining you in the evening, because you started at 11, didn't you?
That's right. Yes.
So it was. I was going to bed, and I was like, "Oh my God, he must be trying to like force down some old soaked oats or something." Now, can you talk us through like the first few hours before?
Well, we tried to book a table in Keswick. I just wanted like a tomatoey pasta. We tried earlier in the week and we had no luck. So we just thought, we'll just eat in the YHA where we stayed. And the safest thing was the Mediterranean couscous salad, which was fine. But as much as I'm not opposed to eating olives and things like that, it's not my normal natural diet.
It's a bit oily, maybe.
Yeah, so I was a bit worried, like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? And I couldn't resist a sticky toffee pudding, so we squeezed that into.
Good. And I was like, just couscous. Oh no.
Yeah. Well, it's like it was good. You know, I think actually the food was all right, couscous and vegetables and kind of sultans and things like that with olives. So
what time did you have that? This is how much detail we're going into here.
I would have been a good 4 hours, I think.
Okay, so you didn't try and go to sleep? You didn't like try and go to bed at like
No, we
6?
had a terrible journey over, sat in traffic for about 2 hours on the A1, which wasn't very good. So no, we just kind of ran out of time by the time we check in. You check in at 5 o'clock now with the YHA. I think it's COVID reasons. They have to
steam
steam the rooms. So yeah, no time to sleep. I had a little bit of a just kind of lay down on the bed, but I was too wired. I had my kit on, took it off, put it back on again. Heart rate strap, doing everything. Trainers, full dress rehearsal, and then the time just seemed to pass quite well. We all met in a little car park just behind the high street in Keswick. And, the Euros are on at the moment. I think the football, so you could just hear people full of beer. And I just thought, no, I don't want to be in Market
Get
Square.
out of there.
Yeah. So we loitered behind. And what was really sweet, actually, one of I think it's the secretary from the actual Bob Graham Round Club. It wasn't just for me. He does it when he knows a round's going off. If he can, he gets out and kind of waves them off, which was so sweet. Oh, it was fantastic.
Did you get a bit emotional?
Well, yeah, I did get quite teary later on. And then people just started appearing out of the darkness,
the car parks. I love that. I love the true ultra running.
Some guys went off at 10:30, so they were a little bit before us.
Were they? Oh, okay.
And that was nice to see them go off. And then our crew just appeared. The road crew appeared. We were looking for one guy, Paul Walker. He appeared, luckily, but I was thinking, oh my goodness. I knew he was going to be there because he was in Keswick. I just couldn't find him. But yeah, he was there. And then we all kind of shuffled to the outside the Moot Hall. And it was so different last year. When I was sitting eating my tea, I was just looking at Skiddaw and I could just see it. There's all the cloud in the sky. And last year was very ominous. The wind was rustling the leaves last year. But yeah, it was fantastic. And then, crikey, before you know it, it's like a couple of minutes to 11 and you are off.
So talk me through leg one. Who were your pacers?
We had, for Ian Leach, who is a friend of Neil's, and he's doing a Bob Graham round too. So Neil and I are both going to crew him, which is nice. Paul Walker, I met Paul Walker on a sunny day at Dunmail Race, and I put out a call for help on leg one, and he just answered that call. So that was fantastic to have him along. Justin Cox, my my kind of weekly training partner. That was nice. And a guy called James Parson too, who, again, I don't know James, same as Paul. I don't know him, but he just kind of put his hand up and came along. My goodness me, all four of them so strong. And, you know, Justin as well. Like I said to you earlier, we just ran up and down the seafront. He hasn't done any hills. And I think it was just under 6,000 feet on leg one. So it would have been a shock to his.
Oh, did you message him? Were you a bit, probably as sore as you after that?
He just said, I can't believe, you know, how you could kind of keep going and doing it, because it all seems quite easy is the wrong word, but you're not kind of smashed after leg one. But yeah, I think he planned to run back to Keswick, but intel is he got the lift.
So I was thinking about it, was like you and Neil, did you discuss the question that surely you were both thinking, was what if one of you couldn't keep the pace?
Yes, we had discussed that. And basically it was only if the pace got to a level that meant that both people's Bob Graham rounds were in jeopardy, then we'd split. So if we were, you know, exceeded 24 hours schedule, then we'd split. But other than that, you know, we had a 22-hour schedule because partly, I suppose, that would give us a bit of buffer zone should anything go wrong. And people needed to know-ish what time to be places. But I didn't want it to be that fine, but it didn't matter if it was 23 hours and 59 minutes. So yeah, that was the only time we'd split, really. Injury and if we were going a bit too slow. But yeah, we had our pace. We'd kind of had a heart rate strategy for pace, really. And that was that. You just kind of kept to it. Neil kept telling me we were a bit spicy on leg one.
Yeah, was he the sort of like cooling head to start off with? Because I imagine you'd be terrible. And would he?
Well, I think I'm probably a bit calmer than Neil.
Oh my Lord.
Well, we're both pretty excited, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kept to that. We did keep to that heart rate. We did have a few chats about it because, like I say, I think Neil was a bit concerned I was going a bit too fast. But leg 2 settled down, and leg 3 and leg 4 and leg 5, we were pretty bang on, to be honest. So.
And did you feel all right? Because I can imagine that leg 1, when there's a long way to go, you've still got a lot of vert in it. If you don't feel good, that could play with you a little bit.
Yeah, leg 1, I felt fine. No issues at all. I was worried because last time I did it, I really got like a strain in my groin. I'm not too sure how. So I was always mindful when I've done 100 milers, my quads have gone, and I was trying to kind of preempt how am I going to deal with that when it happens. I just thought it was going to happen, but it never did, luckily. But yeah, leg 1 was fine. The weather was fantastic. You know, it was so cool in the evening.
Goodness, yeah.
The bogs weren't boggy. He did get a few wet feet, had to cross the river and stuff. But we just couldn't have asked for anything more. It was just
it set you up. It set you up for
big time. Yeah.
Moving on to leg 2.
Oh, leg 2, right. We had Paul. Leg 2 is a tricky one, especially on our schedule. That means we're leaving Threlkeld at about 3 a.m. So we're asking a lot for people to give up time and sleep. But Paul Nelson, you know, we chatted to Paul Nelson last week on the show. He was there, and he was basically like the nav man. Although we did know leg 2. I've done that quite a few times, but I just switched off. Going up to Clough Head, you've got a chance to go left hand or right hand side of this fence. And I always go left through the bog. I just do it because it's a more direct line. But Paul took us to the right.
Is it also the first time for a while you've done it in the dark?
Yes, but I didn't even know where. We started climbing Clough Head, and I'm thinking, I don't remember how we got to Clough Head. And I just totally removed any responsibility from myself with the navigation because I was so confident that
it's
the people around me. So yeah, Paul was amazing. Loads of stories, loads of chat. Jason Allen and Mark Sunley, they're kind of local friends that we go running with quite a lot. So it was nice to have them to chat to too.
And were you happy to chat there? Still at leg 2, you were like still up for a bit of banter?
Yeah. That was all fine. Yeah, Jason always makes me laugh. He's got quite colourful language, his vocabulary.
Let's not get him on the podcast.
Any excuse to say the F word, yeah, it's brilliant. He just makes me chuckle. But that's when we passed the person who was on leg one. Sorry, that's who started at 10:30.
Yes.
So we passed them going up to Clough Head, and she was struggling actually. I think she said she was struggling to eat, and I was doing the maths thinking, my goodness me, if we've gained half an hour in what is in effect a leg, and then the very beginning of leg 2, I thought, I don't know how that's going to go. But ultimately, yeah, when we were coming off Fairfield, she was going up Fairfield, so she really rallied. And spoiler, she did it. She completed. She got her Bob Graham round, so that's good.
There was a lot of dots out on the tracker at the same time as you, and I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, but a few of us were like, surely if you see someone in the distance, Gary's going to get racing head on. Did you see anybody else apart from her?
Oh yeah, on leg 1 we saw her head torch kind of around the Calvert area, and then when we were coming off Skiddaw, there was 2 guys who were doing a solo. It's not Skiddaw, sorry, Robinson. At the end, we saw 2 guys who were doing a solo Bob. Unsupported Bob Graham, and we passed them going off Robinson. But no, I wasn't getting involved in anybody else's times. But luckily, again, you put your faith in the pacers, and we just chugged along at their pace, and that was that. Who else do you have on leg 2? Ian Young, another local, popular Northeast runner, and he's got a Bob Graham round in the planning. And James Parsons carried on from leg 1 and did a chunk of leg 2. I think he could have kept going. Eddie, he could have just done the whole thing. He was so strong. It was brilliant.
Okay, so let's go into leg 3. How far have you gone for people that don't know much about the Bob Graham round now? And what sort of time of the day is it now? So
leg 3 would have been, crikey, my maths is terrible. So we started at 11, roughly speaking, 4 hours per leg. Leg 1 was definitely, I think, about just over 3.5 hours, and then 4 hours for leg 2. So say 8 hours, so about 7 in the morning we're looking at. And oh my goodness, the sunrise on leg 2 was just phenomenal. And I was so pleased we could appreciate it. We weren't just head down. Especially with the Bob Graham pace, you can enjoy moments. So yeah, that was fantastic. But leg 2, end of leg 2, I felt pretty good. It's no fun coming off seat sandal when your legs had 8 hours of running, but I felt okay. And that is when the road crew, Neil's wife, Lisa, she was like the crew general, really. She held it all together. Fantastic. And then Carrie and Andrew, Carrie kept me supplied with Rennies because my tummy was not accepting food well at that point. It wasn't a cheer charge flapjack, luckily, but I nearly choked on a flapjack going up to seat sandal. I was like, get me some water.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And Ian, who had my water, was just a little bit too far ahead. So I just grabbed, I think it was Mark or Jason, I don't know who it was, but just give me a bottle of water. It wasn't very good. And then what I did really, I think it would kind of entered this psychological fear of eating anything that was relatively solid. And after that, I couldn't eat anything apart from gels and Kendall mint cake, and that takes its toll after 20 hours.
What's your gel of choice?
It was just High Five, I think, whatever.
Oh, that's quite sugary.
Is it? Well, I think, and the mint cake is literally all sugar.
Did you have some highs and lows then?
No, honestly, I just chugged along quite merrily. I overextended my hamstring. But that just faded. So I was a little bit worried, is that going to come back and haunt me? So there's a few little instances like that, but I never once. Luckily, I could eat the mint cake, even though it was giving me massive bloated issues. So I never had an energy dip, drank. Everybody was pretty diligent in making sure that we were drinking. So, I wasn't ever dehydrated. We had salt tablets. So all those bits of admin that you could do. We talked to Tom Evans last week, and he said about problem solving, and that was it. I couldn't eat solid foods, so we can. Did you
actually think of his words in your? Yeah, because I've thought of what he said like about 20 times so far.
Yeah,
we haven't played that podcast for anyone that now is going, it's really good, isn't it? It's really good. He was really good, but yeah, his good take on problem solving changes the way you think, doesn't it?
Well, it does, yeah. And like I say, I couldn't eat solids as much as my tummy wanted. I think.
Yeah, you must have. Yeah.
But then
breakfast time.
Yeah, but it was just 20 minutes, a couple of bits of mint cake, and just repeat, and that was that. Yeah, and who else? My goodness, who else was the crew? So yeah, my Lisa, popped up at Honister with the kids.
Oh, how was that?
Well, that's when I started crying.
I was going to say, was that because you touched on that earlier, didn't we? I was like, when did you cry?
Yeah, Anth was there, part of Lisa's brother. And then, Neil's extended family too. Baby George was there, little newborn was there. Honestly.
Oh my God,
a real
lift.
Yeah, it was good. And like I say, Carrie just made sure I was pumped full of Rennies every time.
Did that help?
Well, you know what? I still was bloated, but maybe I would have been worse if I never.
Yeah.
And that was that in leg 3. My goodness me, leg 3 is the big one. You got 6 hours on leg 3. It starts off quite felly and grassy, the beginning of it, then it progressively, as you kind of get towards Bowfell and the Scarfell range, it's really rocky and gnarly. We had David Johnson on there, who everybody I know seems to get David Johnson to do navigation. It's like he knows every rock and blade of grass. He's so knowledgeable. He goes, quite often he goes over there with his partner, and they spend hours and hours on the high fells, and he just knows it all. And again, I just switched off, and off we went and followed him. It was fantastic. And Aaron Gurley, a friend of mine, his Innovates got destroyed on leg 3.
His what? I didn't hear that.
His Innovate trainers got destroyed on leg 3. They look really. I thought at leg 2 at the beginning of leg 3, I thought, oh, he's got new trainers, and then by the end of them, there was a picture on Facebook that he's destroyed his trainers. And then we had Chris Sears, another friend from the Peatley area. He was there too. Chris is really a lovely guy. So just like really calm, nothing seems to faze him, and just a good personality. And then Rob Brooks stepped up. We had to have some kind of crew shuffle. And I met Rob. He was running with me on leg 1 of Ali Bailey's sub-18 round. And me and Rob were in the
It's you and Rob, yes, yeah. The bog trotters.
World of pain together. And, I don't really know Rob. I know his face locally from different cross country.
And now his butt from following it up. So.
And he just was there leg 3 with all my Kendall mint cake and other stuff.
And
half of it I didn't eat. But again, just great. And I when he said he'd do leg 3, I was pretty happy, because although we didn't have a great leg 1, I knew just by the way he was kind of holding himself and the way he was talking about the terrain, he knew where he was. He knew exactly what he was doing. So that was pretty good. And I don't know if have you ever come off Scarfell?
Yes.
Wasdale. There's the Scree slope.
Yes, the Scree.
They should sell tickets for that. It is fantastic. It's just like it just gives way. Sometimes Scree can be quite dangerous, but this just gives way, and you just seem to shoot off Scarfell really, really fast. For my legs anyway. And then we got to Wasdale, and the temperature was rising in Wasdale. It was roasting. And I never thought I'd get in the chair. I thought, no, I'm not going to sit down. But I got down, took my shoes off, just to get the stones out, really. But I left them, I put them back on, I put my socks. I just left the same socks and shoes on all the time. Didn't do any footwear change. I think the only kit I did change was put my Sedgefield Harrier vest on for leg 5 for the 4s as we came into Keswick. So we set off on leg 4. And who do we have on there? I'll flip me a bit of paper over. I don't want to forget. Joanne Allen. So that was David Johnson's partner. She
first woman to be with you.
Yeah, on the actual route. Fantastic. And I think she was a bit nervous, which she didn't need to. She was phenomenal, always kind of, either ahead or within the group, just kind of, she did try to get me to eat a Snickers, which
silly woman.
My teeth scraped the chocolate, and I'm like, I can't eat that. Peeled a little bit of chocolate off, and no. Sean Kennedy, who a friend of Ali Bailey's, who's sub-18, Ali Bailey.
We all know Ali Bailey.
But Ali Bailey was on leg 4 too, so Sean and Ali, and it was great just to have these guys there. And another chap, Christian Henderson. I've got a lot of time for Christian. He's just, again, another just calming, assured person, and just great to spend hours with on the fells. And Sean and Ali, they love it. They just went on to leg 5. They did leg 5, so we just kept picking up people. And
leg 4, did you? There's a couple of questions about leg 4. Did you Had you had enough of chat on leg 4? Were you still quite chipper?
I think so. People asking me, kind of, I don't know, say maybe if I'd stop to go to the toilet and then the group would split up, Christian would say, or Joanna, or somebody would just kind of hold back and make sure we're all together, then, start a bit of chat. And sometimes I wasn't kind of conscious, I was in my own thoughts for a long period of time, but I was never down.
No.
And there was always enough people, you could have been talking about anything. It didn't really matter. But yeah, the conversations, it wasn't forced. It just felt nice. Just like, again, it was just like an extended day of if you're going out to do a recce, but this one just went on probably 10 or 12 hours longer. And I just think because everyone was so knowledgeable. Again, Ali's done the bob. Sean's doing it. Christian would like to do it. I'm sure Joanne would like to do it too. They just knew what to do. It was fantastic. I like the data, the numbers and that kind of thing. So leg 1 and leg 2, I was vocal about if we were hitting the summits at our kind of pace time. And I got the impression that Neil didn't want to talk about that anymore. So I stopped talking about it leg 3. But other than that, yeah, it was fine. There's no, I've got no memory of thinking I need a distraction or anything like that.
And when did you think we're going to do this?
Well, Katie said about you, Barra, and for me, it's Gable. That was a big to get up to Gable. Although it's independently, it's not a big climb because you don't descend to a valley; you descend to a pass off Kirkfell. But getting to Gable was a big moment. But then you don't want to take your eye off the ball because you could quite easily trip. So the big, I suppose the where you really think you've done it is Robinson. That's it. And I remember Christian, he was more able to crunch numbers than me. And I can't remember what it was, but he just said, "You can walk it now, Gary. That's it." Literally.
Don't tell him that.
You can walk. But it was such a good feeling that.
Yeah, what a feeling.
If you did trip, as long as you didn't hurt yourself too bad, you could a long walk, but you could walk it in. And
do you think that's one of the best feelings in the world when you've got such a big ultra in front of you that you can't think about the finish because it's like 2 days away, and then you slowly work towards it, and then that feeling, even if it's still quite a long way away, that you're going to do it is just incredible, isn't it? Oh,
it's I've had that in other races. I think Lakeland 100 when I was really struggling, but I just knew there was never a doubt.
Just need to keep moving.
Just got to keep moving. Keep
Pendle mint cake.
The good thing with the Bob Graham round, I suppose, unless you are chasing an FKT or something, the pace isn't, you're not in the lactic threshold. Yeah. It's not that kind of day. It's just you can't faff on. We were be comfortable, but it wouldn't have took much to hemorrhage 2 hours if we were just a little bit less mindful and a bit more chatty or hanging around at aids. If we'd have took a selfie on every summit, and that's a few minutes. There's
a little bit disappointed about that, but
people did take pictures just for the ratify, and I've seen some stuff on the I can't remember which might be Red Pike. There's some Strava controversy, not my Bob Graham round in particular, just generally Strava doesn't pick up the summit.
Okay.
And Sean had actually commented on it and shared Strava and basically said, look, I was there on, for example, I was there on Saturday and I've got photographs. These people did touch the summit, but the Strava says they didn't. So kind of don't trust Strava.
How did you get your watch battery? Because your Bob Graham round is beautifully presented on Strava.
Yeah.
How did you get your watch to last that long?
Well, it's the, I don't want to plug Garmin in particular.
Go on.
Well, it's the Phoenix.
We're looking for sponsorship now, Gary. Bob Graham round's just a start of your athletic.
the Garmin 6X Pro Solar. So it does charge as you are moving. And I turned off the notifications, so I wasn't being pestered by.
Yes, yeah.
But it did track the steps. So it wasn't completely on its bare bones of information. And yeah, it sort of followed the map. I had navigation, so I was using that.
Oh, you could, okay.
And I got to the end, it had like 50% battery life left. So
stop it. This is going to be flying off the shelves.
And my head torch too. People who've watched my YouTube channel, I bought a new head torch with the boat going around because mine, although it was fine, it was flickering and I didn't want it to conk out in the middle of the night. So I bought a silver ultra free trail, whatever it's called. And that's like everybody else's head torch. I didn't have anything special compared to other people, but it turned on at 11 o'clock at night and it lasted until sun up. So I couldn't.
That's amazing. I don't think I've ever had a head torch that's lasted all night.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
I often go through like 3 batteries and it always goes wrong. Head torches, I'm cursed.
But this was good. It was just one button, no worries. And
yes, I don't want fancy. Like, I don't want dim. I don't want when it sees a light, it dims and then it flashes and it sends a Morse code. And I just want you to turn on and show me the routes.
Show you the route, yeah. And it did that. It's like 400 lumens, so it wasn't, you get some head torches that do mega lumens and stuff. But I thought this was a good mix between battery length and lumens. And yeah, so silver head torch and my Garmin Phoenix 6X Pro Solar. Well, what are the bits of kit that I wear?
What about your shoes? Because you posted some pictures of some very dirty shoes and some very clean shoes.
I had them all there. I had different rock glides, trail flies, but the ones I went for were the Terra Ultra G270s, which on a dry day are and were fantastic. Wet day, I don't think I'd go with those on a wet day, but on a dry day, yeah, it's the same one Damien Hall wore for the Wainwrights Coast to Coast and the Pennine Way. So, a good shoe if it's okay underfoot. And yeah, I didn't, apart from taking a few stones out, I left them on all the way. Some Innovate socks. I had some Red Light shorts, which had some little stretchy pockets. So
love those. I've got some like that.
Well, they were great because what would happen is, say, someone would give me the mint cake, a few bars. So it just saved me from keep asking people for food every 20 minutes. So I just took, say, 2 hours worth of mint cake. And then that was that. I could just kind of reach in and wasn't really any weight to it. So that was fine. But they were really good, the Red Light shorts. I think I had a compression vest because I did get like an achy back towards the end. So just to take a little bit of support, take a bit of pressure off your back. But other than that, oh my goodness, sorry. The best bit of kit was this. It was Solomon because that's what popped up on Google when I did a search. But a little cap with a sun neck protector. So I
never would have had you down as one of those.
No, I wouldn't wear it. But I remember doing a recce and just being roasted alive. And so I just bought one a few weeks ago. And as soon as I bought one, it started raining for all of May. And then dusted it down and put it on for leg 3 and 4. And oh my goodness.
Was it amazing? I mean, you looked like a complete, you looked like, but it worked a treat.
I had to keep breathing in when people were taking pictures because I was looking down at my belly thinking.
Because you had your compression shirt and then you got a bit bloated.
Oh God, it wasn't a good look.
And then
I was like, God, breathe in for a bit.
So one of my favorite bits was, it must have been then I was sitting watching TV Saturday night, following your tracker on like the last kilometer. It seemed to take you forever. Last kilometer into Keswick. And I think everybody was. How did that feel? What did you feel? What like emotions?
Oh, well, it was pretty overwhelming. Neil and I, we did enjoy the moment. We walked and jogged that bit. We were mindful that we didn't want to start running too early. Then we had to walk in Keswick, so we saved our legs for the sprint finish. But yeah, it was amazing. We had a little chat. Who's going to go which side of the steps and stuff like that. He let me go left. I always like going left. I don't know why. But yeah, it was just that realization of we had a failed attempt. And it's been in the pipeline for, crikey, it feels like probably 3 years of my life of
mine too.
Yeah. What next? What am I going to talk about next?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
But yeah, we could just enjoy it. You really did. It was like I don't know, like icing on the cake, fruition. The whole thing had kind of come come together with all your friends, people, friends new and old, leg five.
I mean, the finish photo, I didn't know. I don't have that many friends, Gary. There's so many people there.
They're all Neil's friends.
That's it. I was like, Gary's so popular.
But leg five, we're not even talking about leg five.
Sorry, yes. Deep more about leg five.
Ray and Dave Walker from Sedgefield Harriers, they kind of started walking up towards Grey Knots, just not kind of really expecting us to appear, and then we just kind of caught them by surprise coming down into Honister. So we ran that with those. It was really nice to have some guys from Sedgefield there. Sarah Perry, friend of the show, and her partner Luke Kennedy shared the miles with us, and we, they were fantastic. I don't know these people.
Did they have their dog?
No, they farmed it out. They got someone to look after it. The dog was with them in the lakes.
Did you have any dogs on the round at all?
No. Oh, it would have been just leg 3 and 4 would have been really tough for a dog.
Yeah, too long. Yeah.
So it was brilliant. Like I say, I don't really know those guys that well, but just to give up time, same as Paul Walker and James on leg 1. Just people who love the fells getting out there, and we saw them on Sunday morning getting breakfast in the cafe too. So you kind of keep seeing these people. That was fantastic. Who else is there? Reece Turnbull. He was there, a young lad. I don't know why he was worried. My goodness me, I think he was about 23 or something. I said to Neil, God, he's a good-looking guy, Neil. He's like 6 foot, athletic, youthful. He just skipped it all. It was fantastic. Who else there? And then Sean and Ali kept going on leg 5 too. So it was really nice. It was like we kind of just kept picking up people. So it was like Forrest Gump doing his run. And I was a bit mindful of that, actually, thinking about it, that there was a lot of people on the fells, but it just felt right. It was lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
It sounds like the whole round kind of just felt right. The stars aligned and you were meant to be there.
Yeah, it was fantastic. And then coming into Keswick, like you were saying, it seemed to take an age. Yeah, when you're running into Keswick, you see the lake for Dale Head, you can see it. So it's like, oh bloody hell! It's taken a long time. But yeah, and then you have your beer, and that guy was busy so that when you finish, there's a pub right next door called The Round, and I don't know if he's got a tracker screen or something, but he knows when someone's finished, either by the cheers or, like I said, some TV screen. But he runs out and gives you a beer. And then he went back in quickly and got another beer because there was 2 of us.
It's 2.
Yeah. And then somebody else, a pair finished. So within about an hour, he'd given out 5 beers. And there must be like £5 a go, these beers.
I'm sure he makes it back because everyone, the crew probably then go in and...
But this is it. I was speaking to a friend, like David Johnson, saying I wanted to go in and like give something back and have a meal there or some beers, but it's so popular you can't get in.
Not even you, Gary Thwaites, and our celebrity BGR.
No. And then what did I do after that? I think I ate a whole cheese pie after that.
Were you quite hungry then? Did the hunger hit or?
I was worried to eat. Ray was like, he did buy me a pizza. I thought Neil and I were chatting. I don't think I can drink the beer, Neil. I knew it was coming, but I don't think I can drink it. You have it. But yeah, it went down okay. As soon as I'd stopped and I was out of that self-preservation, it didn't really matter apart from being embarrassed if I puked up. It was it went down and stayed down, and then Ray got me a pizza and that went down and stayed down, and then I stumbled across the cheese pie. Started munching on that.
Stumbled across the cheese pie.
And Esme said, "My goodness, Dad, you snore. And I didn't think I normally did snore, but I think about 10 seconds and I was asleep.
Really? You went that quick?
Yeah.
And then how much sleep did you get?
I think I was probably awake at 6:30, 7, something like that, and then quite restless. I did think I need to rest. It's an early checkout with the YTA, 10 o'clock, so you can't mess about. And then we had a nice stroll, feeling pretty chuffed with myself, and had a big plate of pancakes and maple syrup to all the things I had fish and chips yesterday, all the things I've wanted and not had for months and months.
A week. That's not.
I've had beer every day, which has been nice. That's been all right. Good.
Have you had a beer before this? Because I'm contemplating it.
No. We've got some beers. Yeah, I've got beers in the fridge, but maybe I'll start on those tonight again. But yeah, and it was funny beforehand. I was thinking, oh, Lake 100 next year, maybe something like that. And at the end, I was chatting with Neil, thinking, do we say no? It's a lot.
Do you feel you've come full circle with your journey for a year or so in the lakes, maybe?
Yeah. Well, we were lucky, quite a few friends are doing their Bob Graham round attempts, so we'll be back over soon. Like I said, Neil and I, I'm not too sure how we've been so silly to volunteer to do this, but we've got a leg 2 and leg 3 support crew to do. So that's 10 hours. Yeah, we'll be on the fells. So we booked the youth.
Do you feel you have a greater appreciation now of how those people are going to be feeling now you've been in the deep of it?
Yeah, I think that's it. You can't really appreciate the challenge, I think, unless you've been there scrambling up Gable and places like that. And you hear it so often, Barra coming out of like Wasdale. It's not an enormous climb, but it's just like, oh my goodness, Steel Fell, starting going up Steel Fell again. You're up Fairfield, you look down at Steel Fell and you think, well, I'm higher than Steel Fell. It's not so bad. It's okay. But when you've had 5 minutes at Dunmill Race and then you start the climb to Steel Fell, and then just that accumulation, there's longer races, but just the nature of that
relentlessness.
Yeah. There's no like
10K trotting, let's go.
Apart from the last little bit, when you don't really want to run. There's no little bits where you can go, okay, I've got say 5 mile.
Yeah, which there is in almost every, unless you're doing like a sky race, there nearly is in every single race where you can turn your brain off because you're not going to fall to your death.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I did manage to stomach a tonic wafer biscuit.
Oh, that is good call. That
I tried a cheese sandwich. Oh, my error, I bought a bun and there was too much bread to cheese ratio. And that, I think that was where the problem started. Yeah.
Backy mouth, when it's on the top of your mouth.
The mint cake. Yeah.
I think also because it was so hot, you're probably so dehydrated, you just need fluid and quick absorption. None of this chewing.
I was quite mindful initially, with COVID and stuff like that, but leg 5, I was drinking out of anybody's bottle. It wasn't free. When I was choking, I was like, it's funny also because when you first started up, you were like elbow up, shaking hands and this and that. And then at the end, when you're I love you. Yeah. Neil and I had a nice little cuddle at the end and hopefully we're all okay. Yeah, it was nice actually. We did at Robinson when it was done, like the hard work. We took a moment to savor that and cherish stuff like that, actually.
Cherish memories like that. Well, on behalf of all your super fans of Run to the Hills, Gary, well done. We loved following you. We love that it went so well because I don't think there's a nicer guy that it could have happened to. And you put, well, I'm just saying that. You put so much hard work into that and you've entertained us with your tales of all the training. And so though we can never say you deserved it, you did deserve that.
Yay.
And I hope it's not the end of you talking about it. We can relive it every episode if you want to.
Anti-clockwise next year.
Ooh, unsupported. Anti-clockwise. Blindfolded.
But can I say a big thank you? I probably haven't responded to everybody who has posted on the various social media channels, that we dominate. But if I haven't acknowledged you or replied to you, I apologize for that. But
well, just name and shame. If he hasn't, guys, put it on Facebook and say you never replied to you.
But I was so touched. Just kind of going through them all on. Was it Sunday or Saturday? My days are muddled up now, but it was fantastic catching up with them all and just, kind of reliving the chat, the people's dot watching during the day. It was phenomenal, and just to know you're all out there rooting for me was, it really did help. I appreciate it very much.
Well, you're a legend. You're more of a legend than you were before. And well done to Neil too. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, my goodness me, Neil
putting up with Gary,
putting up with me. He dug in there, and like I said to him at the end, honestly, he put he literally, sorry. He couldn't have given anything else. You know, it meant so much to him. And he just kept going. It was all out there. Everything, every bit of energy he had, he put into that day, and he got it done. And we did it together. It was fantastic.
Well, I'm sure that he couldn't have done it without you, and vice versa. Something about doing something with a companion by your side, knowing that you've got each other's back, and going through the whole journey together as well, the 3-year journey. And yeah, it's for life. What a memory and what an experience to have together, because we do so much of this ultra stuff alone, and sometimes people don't understand the kind of, and they get bored hearing about our journeys. But to actually have shared that with someone and still be mates, because that was the bit I was thinking they're going to be like, I'm not sure I could do that, but it just it's testimony to your friendship and to what great guys you are. So well done.
Yeah, also there will be a short film. Some friends of mine, Martin, Dave and Andrew, filmed our little run at Bob Graham round. So yeah, hopefully sometime soon I'll be able to bore you all with that too, and share the links of our little movie. They weren't out on the route itself, but they caught up with us or as we came in and out of the checkpoints. And I did see a little drone. I don't know if that was ours or somebody else's, but yeah, it'd be quite fun to watch back.
They're great.
Yeah, it'd be sweet. So thanks everyone who filmed.
You can keep this going for a good year. Right, other people were out on the fells, not just you, racing this weekend. We had Scarfell Sky Race. Did you see them?
No, but I saw all the flags, which was, and it just really made me appreciate it, because we just kept seeing flags. It was like, blimey hell, this is for a race. It was quite a tough and long race.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, well, it's long, wasn't it? Spencer Shaw won it in 5 hours 3 minutes, and Lauren Woodwis in 6 hours 18 minutes.
Yeah. And I saw the Kettlewell Fell race. I saw a picture on social media. Robert Carter took a big tumble in the scree, and I'm pretty sure he's under 12 boy, and he got back up, dusted himself down, and took the win. So that was pretty good, and it looked like a proper face plant. Yeah, it must have really hurt, but yeah, he got back up, and it was great also to see the short Dudden Fell race. I saw some pictures of Joss Naylor getting out there again. And he completed that in 4 hours and 6 minutes. And the winners of that race was Martin Howard in 1:27, and Hannah Russell took the win for the ladies, 1:36. So fantastic, well done.
We also had a world record, just a bit like your Bob Graham, really, at the Suffolk Backyard Ultra. It couldn't sound more British if you tried.
I know, yeah.
If you don't know the sort of the rules of the Backyard Ultra, it started in America, and it's gone global now, hasn't it? And
viral.
You have to run 4.162 miles, I think I got that right, every hour on the hour. And the quicker you run it, the more rest you have. And you keep going until you're either timed out or that you've had enough. And we had two guys broke the world record, which was previously 76 yards, and one completed 78 and 179, John Stoker and Matthew Blackburn. They beat the world record of 316 miles. And I was reading there was an article, BBC News, saying that they were running 100 miles in 24 hours.
Wow.
Repeatedly, which is faster than a lot of people can run just 100 miles. And they were doing each lap in about 45 to 50 minutes. So they were moving. Wow. I mean, gosh.
It took me a little time to kind of get to grasp of what was actually going on. And then just kept seeing it on my timeline, these guys.
If you go onto the Challenge Running Facebook page, anybody that wants to know more about that, Linley's done a really good, there's like a whole video of the whole day, basically, of little vignettes of them going out and coming in. And I went right back from the beginning and watched it too, because obviously they didn't know they were going to run that far, and they just keep going and going and going. What the mindset must have when you're sitting in that chair and you've got to get up again. The strength of mind.
The chair.
I mean, I was just whining to you, wasn't I, about my 8x1K reps. Now I had to pretend to myself I was only doing 6. I don't think I good in the chair for 300 miles. But that's really exciting to see Brits leading the way with that. And so those guys now get to go and compete in a world championship.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know any more details about that, but how cool will that be? Oh, I love this. I love the stuff that this really like totally local stuff is going viral and that people are showing what you can push your body to.
Very impressive stuff. Well done, everybody. Interview time. Yeah, this week I talked to Charlie Parkinson. Now, Charlie Parkinson, 18-year-old. He won the Pendle Way in a Day Ultra, which is a little while ago now, actually. And he also got the course record. I really enjoyed catching up with Charlie. It was interesting to have a chat with someone 30 years my junior. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the interview. Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Run to the Hills podcast, and thanks to Chia Charge for sponsoring the show. Chia Charge is about people having real food on the go that is made from ingredients you have heard of, and they taste great too. They are part of the 1% for the Planet charity, and that means they give 1% of their sales, not profit, to environmental charities they believe in. If you like the sound of this, then head over to www.chiacharge.co.uk. I would like to welcome Charlie Parkinson to the Run to the Hills podcast. Charlie recently won and set a new course record at the Pendle Way in a Day Ultra. Now, this is amazing, but to achieve this at such a young age makes it even more special and hopefully just a taste of what is to come. He has a 5K PB of 17:10 and a 10K PB of 38:53. I think those are correct. But these were set before the first lockdown in 2019. So I imagine if Charlie raced those distances today, they will be quite a bit faster. Hi, Charlie. Thanks for coming on the show.
It's all right. Thanks for the invitation.
No worries. Yeah, could you tell our listeners a bit about yourself? You know, where you're based? Are you a student? Do you work? Just like a general bit of background would be great.
I'm based in Rosendale, Waterfoot. I'm 18 and I'm a gardener landscaper, so outside every day, all day.
Yeah.
It's good.
How was that? That's one of those jobs, I see like, let's say a mechanic or something like that. And in the summer, the roofers and stuff like that, are all pretty good. But come the winter, is that just quite a hard job?
Yeah, it's tough, but I think with my running background, the weather doesn't get in the way too much. And you just crack on as much as you can.
Yeah, on your feet all day though, I bet, and kind of lumping machinery around.
Yeah. It's good, obviously. It's like an active recovery after some long days out. So it's good in that way, yeah.
Are you the only gardener landscaper walking around the Blackburn area with compression tights on and stuff like that? Or?
Yeah, there's nobody else. Yeah.
And 18, a lot of our listeners, I suppose, got to running a bit later in life after they've kind of given up the booze and fags and things like that. But what got you into athletics and running in particular?
I have a very sporty family. My mum and stepdad are both ultra runners, so I've always been around the running career and the ultra running career, and always been supporting them on ultras, on their attempts at long stuff.
Yeah.
And I've just been always around it, so it's been there for me, which is good.
You sound like the dream child. I tried dragging my children to races, and I think I put them off for life. But it seems to have rubbed off on you.
Yeah, it's been good. Yeah, it's been nice.
Excellent. So, you literally they kind of drag you to every corner of the country for various races.
Well, my stepdad's competed in quite a lot. He's competed in events such as he's completed the Paddy Buckley, which I went to support him on, the Lakeland 100, the Calderdale Way, and more recently competed in the Dragon's Back.
Oh, it's a multi-day event, isn't it?
Yeah, the 5-day stage race.
Oh, wow. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, so I've always just been around it, supporting them. My mum's done the Cumbrian Way Ultra, the 73 miles, which I went out and supported her on that at various checkpoints. Ran a section with her.
I bet there's an enormous shoe collection in your house with everyone.
Yeah, very, very large. Everywhere you look, there's a running shoe.
Yeah. And are you active family? Fantastic. That's really it's great to hear that everyone in the house is active. Are you coached? Do you follow a plan or self-coached? I'm just really curious.
At the minute, I'm self-coached, but obviously with my mum and stepdad, also ultra runners, I've learned a lot off them too, and I'm always asking my stepdad any advice on anything, on but I am self-coached mainly, and I
Yeah.
just pick up various things off all different people.
Yeah. I suppose then some things fundamentally you have to enjoy it, and some things you'll enjoy and you think that's a benefit, and some things that's not for me. And
yeah, learning about myself on every run, obviously, because I'm such a young age, and how my body reacts to different things.
Yeah. Excellent.
So yeah.
And what does I know you've got like an active job, but what does a typical week look like for you? You know, fitting in around work and training.
I normally try to run 5 to 6 times a week.
Yeah.
Including on a Wednesday we go over Pendle. There's a group of us that go running over Pendle. Try to do 10 to 12 miles over Pendle.
Yeah.
I like to put in a tempo run in the midweek as well, just to try and keep the speed there.
Yeah.
So I'm not just becoming an ultra runner. I like the speed as well. And then on the weekends, I try to do a long hilly run.
Yeah.
That'd be the main run of the week, the long one on the weekend.
And would that be maybe appropriate to the kind of race you've got, kind of your goal event at the time?
If I've got something coming up, I'll try, and if it's just a long flattish one, I'll put some long flat runs in to get some speed in. Yeah. Or get out in the hills doing big climbing.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
And sport and influences, what turned you, or I suppose we answered it earlier on actually, but if you, apart from your family, is there any kind of ultra runners, these celebrities, Jim Walmsley, Killian Jornet, those kind of people? Is there anyone you looked up to at a young age?
I think you've just said them both really. Jim and Killian. I think Killian's quite a big one with everything that he's achieved.
Yeah.
I went up when he did the Bob Graham to watch him finish. I ran the last little bit with him. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
But yeah, I think he's probably the main one, and just seeing how they can achieve it, anyone can really. And I'd love to be there as well and do that.
Oh my goodness, mate. Yeah, definitely. Now, before we talk about 2021, I was just curious, what kept you active and motivated during 2020? It seems like kind of world came to a stop as far as events are concerned. And you obviously seem pretty motivated to rock up in 2021 with such a great result. Yeah. What were you getting up to last year?
Yeah, it was quite hard. It was, there was moments in the year where I was struggling to find any motivation. Just seemed like nothing was happening. But having a sporty family, and they're at the age they're at, they just get on with it and just run. Yeah. So I did a lot of just running with them. One weekend, me and my stepdad and 2 other people went out and did 40 mile of the looking at the spine route.
Oh wow, yeah.
So yeah, I've just tried to do as much as I could really, and just tick on and till another race came along.
I love days like that. I'll go out, I'm training for the Bob Graham round hopefully this year, and just big days out with your friends. That's what it's all about. Like Eddie and I chatted just the week, the event is almost like the icing on the cake for all the great times that you've had and the kind of memories that you've made along the way. But yeah, we'll fast forward. Well, not fast forward, but we'll kind of catch up with the Pendle Way in a day ultra. It's not a race I've done, and don't have much kind of knowledge of that area. Could you explain a bit about the race and the route?
It's a 45-mile circuit route with 6,500 foot of climbing.
Okay, so that's pretty good.
The first half is fairly fast running with not a lot of climbing in. The elevation in the second half, it gets more, and it gets tougher as it goes on. And there's the stretch out of Wycoller, which is 20 mile in Wycoller. It's just a long stretch on this undulating like farmer's track.
Oh my God.
You can see where you're going, and you just feel like you're getting nowhere. And at that point, it felt hard. Yeah. I started to struggle then. Yeah. Obviously, only thinking in my head, I'm less than halfway there. I've still got 25 miles to go. Yeah. Yeah, but it's a really nice route to run. I'd definitely suggest it to anybody else because it's not too challenging. Yeah. But it gets you going. Yeah.
And what's it like underfoot? Is it a complete mixture? I know you said the kind of farmer's track, but is it like you see with the lakes? You got bogs and all kinds you waded
Yeah.
through. Is it similar terrain to that?
It's there's a fair few paths and road sections in it, but the majority of it is runnable. You come to Pendle Hill with at the top of Pendle you got 5 mile to go.
Yeah.
So you're hitting Pendle just under 40 mile in. That's a challenge to get up there.
Yeah.
But once you get to the top, you know it's down off Pendle, and then it's a nice 3 mile stretch.
Oh yeah,
To the finish.
sounds great.
So apart from Pendle, there's not too many big climbs in it, and it is very runnable.
Yeah.
And it was really dry. We got a really dry day, perfect weather conditions, really.
Yeah, excellent. Now I know you got the a new course record, but there were, it was 25 seconds in it between you and Dave Motley, so it was pretty close right up to the end. How did you feel like you were in a race like all day?
Yeah, because it was a time trial situation. So it was weird to race, but because it was almost like I wasn't racing at the same time.
Yeah.
But I had my mum in the car and following me around. So she were always keeping me updated on the splits and how I was compared to the other people.
Yeah.
And so I knew it was close all the way around. I think most of the way around, he had a couple of minutes on me.
Okay.
And it dropped. He had about 7 minutes on me at one point.
Yeah.
But I just stayed focused and it was good. But at 3 mile to go, so just at the bottom of Pendle, she told me that he had 3 mile, he had 3 minutes on me.
Oh.
And I thought, I'm not giving up now. I've come all this way, so I managed to give it everything. But it felt like a race.
Yeah.
But not a race at the same time, kind of thing.
Yeah, I forgot to ask actually the kind of so the time trialing was because of the kind of COVID setup. So everyone set off in waves, or
you could just turn up whenever. Really, they give you a 2 hour time slot.
Okay.
And then you just queue up, and then they were setting people off.
Yeah, it's great to have that intel from your mum. I wonder if he knew you were closing vice versa, if he knew you were closing the gap.
Yeah, I think he knew it was close all the way around.
Yeah.
But I didn't think he knew how close it was at the end, really.
I suppose, like you say, the 3 minutes with a few miles to go, I don't know what your splits were, but if you were, say, if he was struggling maybe in doing 8 minute, 9 minute, 10-minute miles, but you were doing an 8-minute mile, if you're moving quite well, you've got that you can make that time up. I remember it wasn't a time trial as such like that, but the NAV4 event, my goodness, Tour de Helvellyn, that is a similar thing. You set off with kind of whenever you want to go. You have to be back by a certain time, and you get back to the village hall. They had a big TV screen, and you see that you finished, and what temporarily at least looked like quite a nice position to finish in. And then as more people came in who'd set off after your name kind of dropped further and further down the list. But no, it's fantastic that you kind of got there and stayed at the top. Do you follow any like specific race nutrition? Is that something that you kind of pay much attention to?
I struggle with the nutrition. I struggle to get any solid foods inside me while I'm running.
Yeah,
which is quite a big problem. But I use a lot of mountain fuel, the gels and the energy drinks that you put into water.
Yeah.
But other than that, really, I just baby food as well.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I've never done it.
Yeah, baby food. That's quite a big one because it just goes down like a dream, really.
Yeah, it's true.
But other than that, really, and a bag of hula hoops.
Sick. Yeah.
I just try and get whatever I can inside me, really.
Yeah.
There's I go with a plan of eating a butty, and then I get the butty out, have one bite of it, and think, no, there's no chance I'm getting this inside me.
Oh my goodness, you need to work on those eating skills.
Yeah, definitely.
On that route though, was there? Because I always think, especially with trails, there's quite often you come to a section where you say maybe you have to walk. Was that the same with this race, or was it pretty runnable? So it wasn't like a natural break to have a bite to eat?
Yeah, there were a few little steep killer climbs that I had to walk up, and then obviously took the advantage of that and tried to eat something and get something inside me when
Yeah.
I wasn't running at such a fast tempo. So then I would try and have a few hula hoops or a bite
Yeah.
of a butt if I could get in, or a bite of a bar maybe.
Yeah. And how
Yeah.
did your energy? How was you? Did you feel quite energized throughout the race, or did you kind of bring? Is it the bonk? They call it the bonk when you kind of run out of energy. How did you feel?
I had two bad patches really. The one coming out of Waikola at 20 mile, where the
Yeah.
section just goes on forever, and it was more, I was struggling. I felt tired. I think it was more of a mental battle as well. Of
Yeah.
I'm still nowhere near the finish, and I feel shot at really. The legs are getting tired.
Yeah.
But and then I came to after that. I had a drink of Coke.
Yeah.
And
Class, yeah.
it brought me round, and then Pendle hit at just under 40 miles,
Yeah.
and that were a tough climb. But I thought once I get to the top, it's fine. Just get to the top, however
Yeah.
fast, however slow.
Yeah.
And then it's just 4 mile, 5 miles to the finish.
Yeah. Classic. And any lessons that you take away from the race?
I'd probably on the ultra races, because it is my first ultra race, you can't treat it as a race from the start. You can't race the other runners at the start. So I'm not setting off really fast at 7 minute miling down the path.
Yeah.
Because I've still got 44 miles to go, or however long. So I need to treat it as an ultra race, more of a long run out than just a race on its own.
Yeah. Yeah. And do you think you'd go back to this race in 2022 to defend your title?
I have. I've been asked that, and I would like to do it again, but I think not next year because there's more stuff out there for me to attempt.
And for our listeners, is there that is the ultra distance? Is there different events that day so you could do a shorter race?
There's a 30-mile one as well, which
so still a good day out. Yeah.
Yeah, it misses out the first 20 mile of the 45, and instead you do a 6 mile road and trail section, and then you join back onto the same route.
Yeah. 2021. Okay, you've done that. You've had a flying start. What is next for 2021? If all things go well?
Bob Graham, I have planned in June. Yeah.
Oh, what weekend? I'm doing it in June. Oh.
The 11th.
Oh, right. Mine's the 4th, Friday the 4th.
The week before, yeah. Mine's Friday the 11th, yeah.
And you've sent off the email, you booked your attempt and all that. It's all
been booked, yeah. 11 o'clock the Friday night, I'm saying off. Yeah.
I need 11, same as me. My goodness. All right, need some stats here though. Okay, Bob Graham, 11 o'clock. Clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Clockwise.
And what is your goal time?
I'm on at the minute a 22-hour schedule.
Oh, that's exactly the same as me.
With it being my first time on such a big event, the main goal is just to get round. Obviously, on a 22-hour schedule, you still have loads of time to play with if you're struggling.
Yeah.
And if you feel good, you can also push on from it.
Yeah. That's exactly why. Sorry.
I'd like to get close to the 21 and a half time. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly why we came up with the 22. It seemed achievable. If we have a really lucky day, then we could maybe kind of push that 21.
Yeah.
You've got the 2 hours to spare.
If you're struggling.
If things are going bad. Have you managed to get up on the course?
We haven't been up yet. When we was going to go up, and we ended up going down to Wales instead because
you got lost, or
we're going down to Wales tomorrow as well. We're on a Paddy Buckley support.
Oh my goodness me!
We're on the leg one, the leg over Tryfan.
Kim Collison just brought the record, didn't he?
Yeah, we were down the same day as him. Yeah, he set off just earlier in the morning. Yeah.
You good luck. If anyone's got a round going on, you got a Paddy Buckley or a Killian. If Charlie's going to be there, you know it's going to go.
Yeah. So we ended up going down looking at that. It still ended up a good day out. It were 18 mile and 9,500 foot of climbing.
Oh my goodness, mate.
So it still ended up a big day out, which is good. Yeah.
I think that's it. A lot of like where I live, we've got hills, you know, we can go up the moors and even up to the Cheviot, but they're not the same as the lakes. But
No.
yeah, if you can get it's kind of 10,000 feet in a day on the fells, we have to travel over to really replicate that kind of elevation. And have you got so you're doing it solo, or are you doing it to your parents or friends?
I've got a full team, yeah. So I've roughly got about 3 people on each leg.
Oh, fantastic.
With my mum being road support all the way around.
Yeah, she'll be exhausted.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that's really interesting. Anything else? I know that's big enough, you know, Bob going around keep you very busy. But after June, then anything penciled in?
I'd like to have a go at the Cumbrian Way Ultra, but just the 30 mile Cumbrian Way Ultra, not the 73.
Yeah.
So I think out of any, that's probably my next one that's lined up this year, September.
Cool. And what would you see, say your future in the sport? Have you got any goals that you'd like to kind of achieve long term, I suppose?
I'd like to be able to compete in the mountains in France and Switzerland on the long ultra races over there at a high standard, get some top 10 finishes maybe over there.
Definitely, you know, you definitely starting at a young enough age. I think I maybe alluded to earlier, a lot of people, myself included, were semi-active pretty much all their life, but not that focused early on. And also you do get a lot of athletes who have promise and they maybe shy away from the long stuff and the trails because they're concentrating more on the track. So I think it's fantastic that you've thought, no, let's go in that direction. Do you have any other sports that interest you, or any activities that aren't even running related that you kind of fill your time with?
I think with work and running, I don't really have much time to do anything else. No, so there's nothing really that I do apart from just work and then run.
That's the rest of it. It sounds pretty familiar.
Yeah.
I know I probably asked this question before I should have, but we'll go back a little bit. Actually, we mentioned the goals, but do you have a bucket list race? You know, if you could go anywhere in the world, anything you fancy?
I've got 2: the Western States 100.
Yeah.
And the UTMB.
Oh, brilliant. Western States. It just seems to be kind of a magical.
Such an iconic race.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. That would be great. Well, if you're going to be there, I'll go too. We might finish together. Both finish. So running highlights so far. Anything in particular that stands out?
Obviously, the Pendle Way in a day.
Is that your first win? Just
that is my first win on anything. Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh man.
Apart from a park run.
Yeah. You're not supposed to win them, though, are you? Is that?
No, they're not a win. They're just a run. Apart from that, I've not won anything else. But I have represented Lancashire on the cross country team.
Oh, amazing! That is brilliant.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about it actually right at the very beginning, your 5K and your 10K time. Do you have an idea if you were to kind of put the racing flats on now, what your 5K and 10K time would be about?
In January, I did a virtual 10K and did it in 36:53.
Oh, wow. So that's 2 minutes.
Yeah. Off no speed training either, which is quite good.
Yeah.
It's obviously staying with me the fast legs.
But that's good, especially in that race that you've just done, the Pendle Way, that last few miles, get the legs turning over.
Yeah.
Once restrictions are over, and again, this doesn't have to be running, it can be, I was just talking about going to the cinema to my wife earlier. Is there anything that you just think, my goodness me, once we can kind of go and do things again, you particularly looking forward to?
Probably the most, just being able to go out to the mountains abroad as well, and just being able to just go out long days running.
Yeah. Sounds good. what kind of kit are you wearing? Favorite shoes, hydration vest? What you kind of running around in?
I'm a big S-Lab, Solomon S-Lab fan. So
Literally, are you like head to toe Solomon?
yeah, if you've seen the pictures from the race, I am. Yeah, the full S-Lab gear.
You're not alone. I see quite a few.
There's a lot of yeah.
It's good kit. My goodness, you look pretty smart. Excellent.
So I've got the Solomon S-Lab, the 5-litre race vest.
Yeah.
And then trainers, the S-Lab Ultra 3s.
Yeah.
Which at the moment is my favourite shoe.
And are they? You got those penciled in? Are your Bob Graham shoe? Do you think?
They are. They're probably what I'll be setting off on my Bob Graham. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Oh, that's good. Kind of lighten the mood a bit. Not that it's ever got too heavy, but we always, we just threw this out to, I think, Sarah McCormack. What she watched on Netflix? What was it? What she was binge watching? So we kind of kept it in. It doesn't have to be Netflix. It could be Amazon or whatever. But yeah, what are you watching at the moment?
I don't really watch much Netflix, but a show that I watched and really enjoyed on Amazon was the Barclays Marathon.
Yes, brilliant.
Show about the Barclays Marathon. It's very interesting, really. An interesting and iconic race again.
Yeah, we've had a few people from the UK go over and give it a go.
Yeah.
I think it's my goodness me, it takes no prisoners. That
No,
race. Am I right? If I remember correctly, that you need to kind of write an application letter almost, and then he decides whether you can be in or not. Yeah,
I think that's right. Yeah, so you have to apply, and then when you register, you have to give them a registration plate off the car.
That's right. Yeah,
that's almost like entry form registration plate. Yeah.
Oh, £1, I think. Well, $1. I think it's pretty.
Yeah.
Really cheap to enter.
I think he just likes putting it on and seeing everyone suffer off his race.
Is it the horn goes and then he lights a cigarette or something like that? That's the.
Yeah, so I think you set off any time in the 24 hours, and then he sounds his horn, and you've got an hour to get ready and get to the start line. And when he lights his cigarette, off you go. It
sounds dreadful. They mentioned the things called briars, which we don't have over here, but I think. They just rip your legs to.
Yeah.
Rip your legs to shreds. This couple of the weekend, any good local trails near yourself, or are you heading off somewhere a bit further afield for your weekend runs?
This weekend, we're off down to Wales on a Paddy Buckley support. And then on the Sunday, I think we're going to just try and get up Snowdon over Cribcock Way, maybe.
Excellent.
But locally, we've got the Rosendale Hills. They're good hills to run on. Struggle to get the climbing in, so Pendle's not too far away. If you want a little bit of a bigger climb and a longer run over there.
I'm not too sure if you've got a social media presence, but if you do, how can people connect with you? Instagram, Strava, that kind of thing?
I've got both. I've got Strava, which is just my name, Charlie Parkinson.
Yeah.
And on Instagram, it's charlie.parkinson1.
Charlie.Parkinson. And I'm just going to say loads of S-Lab gear on.
All dressed up in S-Lab gear, yeah.
Excellent. Well, I've really enjoyed our chat. I hope you have too. I'm sure our listeners will. Thanks for coming on the show, Charlie. I'm really looking forward to watching your progress in the sport. Please keep in touch. If you ever want to come back on the show, just reach out. Yeah, we'd love to have a chat with you and catch up. And good luck for your Bob Graham round attempt.
Thank you for that, and much appreciated for the invitation onto the show as well.
No worries. That's brilliant. Cheers, Charlie. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks for listening. And if you're enjoying this episode, then pop a post on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you are tuning in from. Head over to YouTube too and subscribe to our channel.
Thank you so much, Charlie, for joining us on the show. And we've got to wish him some luck, haven't we?
Yes, he's. I checked the tracker today, and his name is still on the list for his Bob Graham round attempt. I did send him a message, an email. I think it's this Friday. He sets off at 11 o'clock. So good luck.
So is there no age limit on the Bob Graham round?
No. When I chatted to him, in the interview, he's well invested in the fells and the different rounds and stuff like that. So yeah, he's not just kind of rocking up and trying to do it. He appreciates the challenge and the various challenges. So yeah, good luck, Charlie, and also good luck to Emma Roper. She's off at, I think it's 10:30 this Friday. So that's my weekend. So don't watch it. Yeah, good luck, everybody.
We've got our competition winner over on Instagram. We had loads of great stories of people posting dogs and medals and dogs. And we loved Nicky McCallum as our favourite. He posted a picture of him on Formby Beach having run with his enormous dog.
Yeah.
I think his dog is bigger than him. I'm going to post that onto Facebook so that everyone can see. And Nicky, a box of Cheer Charge bars is coming your way.
Yeah, if we don't get in touch with you, Nicky, reach out to myself or Eddie, and
reach out to me. Gary's useless this week. Useless.
Yeah.
Well, what's coming up? How are you recovering?
Well, it's my birthday today, which will be
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. So you're gonna go out in a little strappy top, some heels.
Yeah, actually some proper clothes. Not technical gear for a change, which is really weird.
Do you have proper clothes?
I think I have, yeah, somewhere. It probably doesn't fit me anymore. Last time I tried a suit on, it was a little bit roomy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say tight, because last night, we went out for a first time in like 2 years out for a dinner as they lifted our curfew, and I put on like my smart skinny jeans.
Yeah.
It's the waistband. When you're not used to the waist, it's just the waistband. It's nothing to do with Japanese crackers.
So tonight we're going out for a nice meal, actually, Thai meal in Durham. So that should be lovely. And I'm going to have a few beers, and I think this might be the end of my indulgence. I'm creaking, Eddie. I just feel a bit groggy on it all. So I need to start looking at healthier food instead of smashing peanut M&Ms every night and stuff like that.
When will you try to run?
I thought I was going to give myself the whole week off, but my legs feel all right. So
don't be strong.
I think definitely a full 7 days.
Yes.
Might go out with Rex for it, but also it's quite nice. It's so hot, so Rex you shouldn't be running out in the.
No, they don't do well, do they?
So maybe on Sunday we'll go down the nature reserve, a bit of shade, and do a few miles around there. So that is me. So what about yourself?
Well, I'm getting ready. We're going to talk again before I go, but I'm getting ready because I'm going to run around Mont Blanc next week. And so I've just, there's a lot of snow still. So tomorrow we're planning our map route, because I think our route might need to be much lower than the actual route.
Okay.
But I've also been dusting off my crampons because we will have to cross quite a lot of snow as well. So exciting. A little adventure for Eddie. So we're having a meeting tomorrow. I'm going off. There's 4 of us going round. We've booked some refuges, and we're going to try and do it in 3 days.
Oh, wicked. That
Tasty.
sounds amazing.
I am really excited about it, but I'm also, I'm just a little bit anxious about all the snow. And so we're going to plan our route tomorrow, and then you can ring and check with the mountain guides, this is our route. What do you think? And it will just be, be a bit sad to not get up through the high passes, but safety first.
Yep.
And we're all experienced to being in the mountains, but that doesn't mean anything, does it? I mean, one slip and it's over. So
don't forget your bivy bag.
We've all got bivy bags. We've all got our bivy bags and our whistles. I might just get in mine if I get really tired and just start blowing my whistle. Cheer Charge bar!
Yeah.
I need a Cheer Charge bar. We'll talk about that more next week. I want you to go and enjoy your birthday. Put your feet up. Indulge yourself for the last few days.
Yes.
Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Yeah, and you too. Thanks. Well, I'd just like to say thanks again, everybody. I know Neil and I really did feel a love over the weekend. I know it was just great kind of catching up with all the messengers. So thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciated it.
That was episode 41. I'm Eddie Sutton.
And my name's Gary Thwaites.
And let's run to the hills.